Hey guys, and welcome to another What's for Dinner. Sorry it's taken me a little while to get another one of these up. I just honestly have not cooked much the past few weeks, so it just took me a little while to get enough recipes to share. So the first night I made some barbecue bacon cheeseburgers, and I just made some zucchini to go on the side. So I just chopped those up and tossed them in some olive oil with some rosemary, thyme, salt, pepper, and garlic powder and onion powder. And I just put those on a foil-lined baking sheet and baked those on 425 for about 20 minutes or so. And now I'm going to get my hamburger meat seasoned up. So I just have a pound of 85-15 hamburger meat, and I'm just adding some salt, pepper, onion powder, and garlic powder. And I'm just going to mix that all together to really get those seasonings combined into the meat. After I do that, I'm going to try to portion these out to about 4 ounces each. So I'm going to get 4 burger patties out of this pound of meat, and I'm going to pat them out. And I like to put a little divot in the center. I just press my thumb in the center. That keeps them from shrinking when you are cooking them. And I put these in a preheated air fryer. I preheated it on 400 degrees, and I just added some barbecue sauce to the top, brushed that out on each patty, and popped it in the air fryer. Halfway through the cooking time, I flipped the burgers and added some more barbecue sauce on the other side and spread that out and continued to cook until they were completely done. In the meantime, I am toasting some buns in the toaster. I just sprayed them with a little bit of spray butter and popped them in the toaster, and I'm getting my cheese and bacon ready. And as soon as the burgers are completely cooked, I added a little more barbecue sauce, spread that out, and topped it with the bacon and cheese. And I put this back in the air fryer for about a minute, just until the cheese was melted and the bacon was warmed through. This is what it looked like when I went to serve it up. I just have a burger with some of the zucchini. My husband had his burger with some chips, and that was dinner for the first night. I prefer cooking the zucchini the same way but in an air fryer, but since I was doing the burgers in the air fryer, I had to settle for putting them in the oven. That bun back there got a little extra crispy, but my husband didn't mind. But that was dinner for that first night, and it was really good. The second night, I made this Chef Boyardee pizza kit. I had never made one of these, and it just seemed like something easy and something different than just like a frozen pizza. So I am just going ahead and making 2 pizzas, and we just ate the leftovers for lunch the next couple of days. But I am just making this dough according to the package directions. Nothing crazy. You just add some water, I believe, is all you added to it. After I mixed that up, I just put a little olive oil all over the dough and covered it with a tea towel. It was supposed to sit for about 5 minutes, I guess, to rise. I don't know. It didn't really look much different after the 5 minutes, but whatever. And while that was sitting over there on the counter, I went ahead and opened up the pizza sauce and got my toppings ready. Now, to assemble the pizzas, I just put them on 2 foil-lined cookie trays that I sprayed with some nonstick spray, and I am just patting out this dough just until it covers almost the entire pan. These were actually pretty big pizzas. It made bigger pizzas than I was expecting. And after I got the dough spread out, I just took that can of pizza sauce, and I didn't use the whole thing, but I just put some on each crust, spread that out with a spoon, and then I actually used a bag of shredded mozzarella, which I normally buy mozzarella cheese and shred it. I just like how it tastes better and it melts better, but I was kind of lazy, so I was really glad that I had this bag of already shredded mozzarella cheese. So I just sprinkled that all over both of the pizzas, and then I did one with regular pepperoni and I did one with turkey pepperoni. I would have done all regular pepperoni, but I had about a half package of both, so we had one of each, and I ate the turkey pepperoni one because my husband's not super crazy about turkey pepperoni, but I thought it was good. So after I put the pepperoni, I just shredded a little bit of cheddar cheese on top, and I just did that to kind of hold the pepperonis in place. And this is what they look like when they came out of the oven. I did not get a video of our plates, but it's just pizza. I had this and a side salad, and it was really good. However, I did not think the crust was anything special. I thought it was just, I don't know if gummy is the right word, but it was just like bread-like instead of like having any kind of crust, I guess. But it wasn't bad for a $2 pizza kit. I'm not going to complain too much, but it is what it is. I don't know if I'd buy it again. Now, the next night, I made some beef tips and egg noodles in my Instant Pot. So I just have this on the saute function, and I just have some stew meat that I am browning with some salt and pepper, and it rendered a lot of liquid, so I ended up draining out all that liquid and re-seasoning everything. But I just put some onion powder and garlic powder, and then I added a pack of French onion soup mix and mixed that together. Once that coated the meat, I added in some water and beef broth base to kind of deglaze that pot. And then I added on top a can of cream of mushroom, and I did not mix it in. And then I put it on high pressure for about 15 minutes, maybe. That's wrong. That could be completely wrong. I am just guessing, but I'll leave the recipe link down below. To go on the side, I'm making some green beans. So I am just doctoring up some green beans from a can. I have a recipe that I found on allrecipes.com that I'll leave link below on how to make those green beans. And then I also found these Cheddar Bay biscuits when I was grocery shopping at Lidl, and I'm like, that sounds really good. So I made those up to go with our meal. So I just mixed that up according to the package directions. And then it came with a little seasoning packet that you mix with some melted butter. So once those came out of the oven, I just topped them with that melted butter, and it was like garlic and herb or something. Whatever they are at Red Lobster, I guess is what I was doing. So after I put the butter on, I just put those aside. And now that the meat is done cooking, I just did a quick release on the pressure and added in a half of a bag of egg noodles and a little splash of water, and I tried to press those noodles down to submerge them in the liquid so they would cook. And I just put the lid on. It was on vent, so it was just kind of on the saute mode, bubbling and cooking those noodles. After the noodles were done cooking, I added in a splash of heavy cream and gave that a mix, and this is what it looked like when everything was done. This was so good, and I think I'm going to make my beef tips and egg noodles like this from now on. I usually make them in the crock pot, but I thought the texture of the meat was much better in the Instant Pot. And those green beans, even though it's just a doctored up can of green beans, they are delicious. And those biscuits were spot on. They were so good. So this was probably my favorite meal of the week, and I would definitely make it again. The next night, I made crock pot sloppy joes. This is one of my favorite things ever, and it is super easy. So you just brown up 2 pounds of ground beef, drain off the fat, and add that to your slow cooker. Add in a can of tomato sauce, a half cup of ketchup, a half cup of water, a quarter cup of brown sugar, quarter cup of flour, a tablespoon of chili powder, onion powder and garlic powder. I never really measure that out. Then you do a tablespoon of cider vinegar, a tablespoon of Worcestershire sauce, 2 tablespoons of mustard, and some salt and pepper. I actually did A1 instead of the Worcestershire sauce because I didn't realize we were out of it. But you just mix that together and cook it on low for about 3 or 4 hours. I cooked mine on high for 2 hours, and this is what it looked like when it was fully cooked. This is one of my all-time favorite comfort meals, and it's so easy and so good. I could eat this once a week easily, and it's so much better than the canned stuff that you can buy to make sloppy joes. I've also used this meat mixture for hot dog chili, so it's a good like cross. So if you want to do sloppy joes one night and hot dogs the next, you have some meat that you can use for a chili, and it's delicious. The next night, I made some barbecue boneless pork ribs. I think they're called like country ribs or something. So to my slow cooker, I put a crock pot liner in there, and I just have those boneless ribs, and I'm just seasoning them with salt, pepper, onion powder, garlic powder, a little bit of chili powder, and some brown sugar. And I'm just moving those around to really coat them in that rub, I guess is what it is. And then I topped it with some barbecue sauce, and I put a little water in there to shake up to get the rest of it out. And I cooked those on low for 6.5 hours. Once they were done, I put them on a foil-lined cookie sheet and topped them with some more barbecue sauce, broiled them. And I just served these with some homemade mashed potatoes and gravy and some more zucchini. So these were delicious. The pork was a little bit dry. I think maybe I could cook it a little less time. I think it might have been just overcooked, but regardless, it was delicious and we loved it. And last but certainly not least, the last night I made these ham and cheese croissant roll-ups. So you just take some canned croissant dough, and on each triangle of it, you're going to add 2 pieces of ham and some shredded cheese and rolled those up. Once I got those all rolled up, I melted some butter in the microwave and added a little bit of honey to it. And I mixed that up and brushed that over top of all the croissants. And to go along with this, I just made this Caesar pasta salad kit thing that I got at work in our discount buggy for free. So I just made it according to the package directions. And this came together in like 10 minutes. Dinner was so quick and easy this night, but it was so good. And this is what the croissants look like when they came out of the oven. We got it all plated up. These were so good and so easy. And that closes out our week of dinners. So that's all I have for you this week. I really hope you enjoyed this video and maybe found some new recipes that you'd like to try. If you're interested in content like this, please give this video a thumbs up and consider subscribing to my channel. I'd love to have you here. And as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.